be thankful of where you come from and the road that you had to get,
Yeah.
the road that you're on to get to where you're at today. You wouldn't be without those scars. You wouldn't be who you are today.
How do you find and keep hope alive?
I will find hope in what Jesus Christ did for me.
Do we believe?
My hope is centered totally, completely in Him.
Do we trust?
I have hope today because of what Jesus did on the cross.
His hope doesn't change.
Hope is triumph in our triumph.
Hey, I'm Brian from The Light FM, and this is what hope sounds like. And I'm so excited because we have the opportunity to talk to two very special guests who are coming together for a re-release of a song that you know well if you are a listener here of The Light FM. I'm talking about Scars from the band I Am They. And today joining us, we have Matt from I Am They, and we have country singer, artist, musician, songwriter Drew Baldridge. Matt, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Honored to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks
we've got Drew checking in here too. Drew, good to see you, brother.
Hey, good to be seeing y'all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're really excited about this collaboration and this new release from you guys. And I wanted to have you all on to talk about the heart and the why of why you decided to do this. Because, Matt, you've got a song that just did so well. God did so many amazing things through the original release of Scars from I Am They. If you want to, just talk a little bit about what the hope originally was and what you wanted listeners to take away from the song back in its first release.
Oh, sure, yeah. This is a song that we ended up coming together, and at the time with the band, it was one of those moments where we just kind of felt like the rubber hit the road, and it was like hey, are we going to tell the truth? You know, like God was calling us to just lay it all out there and just kind of get real with our stories, our individual stories, our collective story as a band, and really meet people where they were at. And this was us just kind of bearing our hearts and sharing our scars with people. And those kind of came in a number of different ways. You know, we had 6 people in our band, and we all carried some kind of scar, emotional, physical, spiritual. And we started sharing those things, you know, at each one of the shows, and just from stage being open about our individual testimonies and the redemption stories that God had done in each of our lives. And man, it just took off. It just felt like, man, it was a opportunity, an invitation for people to come out and share their stories. And so that's what we did. And yeah, as you said, it kind of changed the whole trajectory of our band. It was, you know, that's been the biggest song that's happened for us as a band, and it just was an opportunity ultimately to share the gospel and really shine the light into a place that otherwise usually ends up being a place of you know, a lot of people hide their scars. I think scars kind of do one of two things. It either puts you in a locked room, or it brings you closer to Jesus.
Yeah.
And that was that's really the message of the song was, you know, there's a story in the gospel where Jesus, he has just died and resurrected, and he goes and he finds his disciples, and they lock themselves up in a room, and he says, hey, what are you guys doing? You know, and he shows them his scars, and that was what he did. And in so doing, it like set them free, you know, and it was like, hey, we don't have to hide our scars. We can actually, through the scars of Jesus, there's redemption for our scars. We don't have to hide anymore. We can come out with that, and actually, you know, we start sharing our story. We actually give healing to somebody else out there who might be going through the same thing. So that's really the message of the song. Is a song, you know, telling about Jesus, and I just couldn't be more excited, blessed. I had no idea that Drew would be going #1 in country music whenever we recorded this thing.
Yeah.
But now to see him, man, shining the light into a whole different room, if you will.
Yeah.
Is pretty cool. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's talk about that, Drew. When did you first hear the song Scars, and what led to you getting involved and saying, hey, I want to jump over into this other space and try this? What tell us about that.
Yeah, so my producer, Nick Schwartz, he's in the Christian space a lot, and Matt was working with him on this song, and he sent it to me and said, "Hey, would you like this? Would you like to feature on this song?" And this was probably, Matt, you probably know the right time. My world's been a little crazy. That was over a year ago, probably,
Yeah. Yeah.
when I got sent this, and I was like, man, this message of this song is my story and my scars and my struggles. And I went home to my wife and I was like, hey, you know, she knows my faith, and I grew up singing in church, and yeah, I sing country music and things, but you know, my heart is with the Lord. And I came home and showed my wife, and she was like, "How do you not know this song?" She goes, "This is a smash hit. They really want you." She goes, "You should do that. You should be on it. This song was special. It reached a ton of people." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't even know." You know, I've been so, you know, caught up in '90s country music my whole life, of, you know, Alan Jackson and George Strait, that, you know, I didn't ever come over to Christian radio as much as I should have growing up. And I just, I fell in love with this song. You know, my story, I've been in Nashville for 14 years chasing country music, and that came with losing record deals and losing managers and tons of scars, tons of scars. And that came with me almost giving up on music back in 2019, 2020, after everybody in Nashville gave up on me. And I just decided, back then I created my own record label a few years later, and sent my own song to country radio, and we ended up having a very blessed #1 song that shouldn't have happened. And for me, during this journey, I look back continuously and I kept saying, man, God, thank you for all these things you put me through. Yeah. Thank you for, you know, all the broken roads that led me here. And without all those scars that I had and that I went through, I wouldn't have learned how to run a record label. I wouldn't have learned how to treat people. I wouldn't have learned a lot of things along the road. So when I heard scars, I was like, man, this is my story. God blessed me in all of that, what I thought was hurt and what I thought was slowing me down. No, it was setting me up. It wasn't set back. It was set up for the future. And sometimes, you know, now when I hear this song, there's so many people that come to my shows now. We have a song that was called Tough People, and it talks about how tough times make tough people. And this song just coincides with that message so well too. And it's the message that we want to put out in the world of, like, be thankful and of where you come from and the road that you had to get, the road that you're on to get to where you're at today. You wouldn't be without those scars. You wouldn't be who you are today. And so that's what I get out of this song, and that's what I hear when I listen to it, is to be thankful for the road that God put you on. Yeah. Because you wouldn't be where you're at today without your scars. Yeah. And you wouldn't be the strongest person you are today without your setbacks, you know? So I think this song is so powerful, and I'm very, very blessed that Matt and I Am They allowed me to sing on it with them. I hope I did it justice. I'm just some country boy trying to sing, you know, and shine some light on God. And I can't sit here and say I'm the best Christian singer in the whole world out there. So just some redneck on a pretty song. I don't know if it works or not, but I like singing it.
Hey, we have rednecks in the Christian music space too, Drew, just so you know. But well, you talk about scars, and both of you can chime in here really quickly. When I think about scars, you know, when we think about physical scars, looking at our bodies, when I hear the word scar, I've got multiple scars that all have different stories, but there's usually one that pops into my head first, and it's this scar that I have on the back of my leg from riding a dirt bike. And a pretty nasty one there. When you think about scars in y'all's career, in your lives, what's that one scar that jumps up of, man, this is the reminder, this is the first reminder that comes to mind of how God worked in this situation and in this story?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll jump in here and just say that, you know, there's been many, obviously, over the years, from the very first, actually, as far as a physical scar goes, I actually lost my appendix, or my appendix ruptured the day my sister was born. So I was supposed to die that day, and God had other plans. That was kind of at the beginning of my story. I'll just fast forward to where we're at right now. My wife and I last year actually went through a miscarriage, and that was the first time we had done that. been through that, and was very. You don't really know until you're there, you know. I've had other friends and stuff like that that have walked through that, but we went through that, and it was really difficult. It was really trying. It was you know, all the things a lot of people say it is, um, and kind of shook us. You know, it kind of puts you in a position where you don't know kind of where to go from there. If you're gonna circle back, or what the Lord has planned for you there. But I'll just fast forward again to this year, and my wife is actually right now sitting inside of our annual church conference, and she is very pregnant. So she's in her we're in our third trimester with a little redemption baby. So you know, God definitely takes our scars and does something with them that we never thought he could. You know, and I will also say that I've heard people that maybe haven't experienced the same that same redemptive you know, story yet, or maybe they're in the middle of it right now, of what that scar looks like, or it's real fresh. And I just also want to just speak to them and just say, man, hold on. You know, the main line of this song is, I'm thankful for the scars, because without them I wouldn't know your heart. And there's something that we find out about the heart of God. You know, there's a line that says, my brokenness brought me to you. And the purpose in the pain, and the proximity in the pain, the things that actually draw us closer to the heart of God and teach us something deeper about the heart of God, is actually so much more valuable. And we come to find out, you know, the further along we get into the journey. But yeah, that's, you know, for me, that's been something that has definitely resonated for me, for my wife, for our family right now, in singing this song. And I think that's just what's beautiful is hearing not just our stories, you know, as it relates to the song again, but even as Drew sung this and kind of got it out there to a whole different audience, seeing how it's resonating with other people who have never heard this song, and who are walking through the same situation and have scars of their own. And this song is ministering to them, and the Lord's using it in some kind of way in their story. It's just again, so humbling and beautiful.
Drews, anything jump out to you when it comes to scars of your past?
Yeah, I mean, I guess physical scars. I got a scar on the back of my leg when I was walking through the woods with my brother, and we were both bow hunting, and something scared him because he's a sis, and we were walking through the dark, and he jumped, and his arrow caught the back of my leg, and so I got like this scar. It went through my freaking camo overall, went through my boot, and got my leg, and so I got a scar. It's not that big on the back of my leg where it bled for a good while, but I guess more emotionally, you know, Matt, what you went through is so hard, and I'm trying to think as family side of things. I don't have something as emotional that going through a scar like that, but on music front, you know, I talked a little bit about it earlier of just, I moved to Nashville 14 years ago to do this dream of chasing music, and we're so tied to it. And when I lost everything and I was trying to start a family, I had a girl that I wanted to marry, and I couldn't afford a ring. I had, you know, bills piling up, and I was living on credit cards. And I lost that record deal. I had a song that all the songs failed. And it was in this moment of like, God, what is happening? This whole music world has crumbled for me. And I put 10 years of my life into this and trying to follow what you wanted me to follow. And I felt like I was doing a good job of that. But then just little voices of just don't give up yet. You know, like, hey, it's gonna be worth it. Just keep going and keep going. And you know, us creating our own record label and as an independent artist, and going on and winning as an independent artist, it has been so amazing to see my journey now and looking back and knowing why I needed to do that, and knowing that, hey, this didn't work out because you wasn't ready yet, but also now the amount of independent artists that we have given just inspiration to let them know, like, hey, don't give up. Like, God has a plan for your voice and your heart, and who knows how many songs now, through what God made us struggle through, now we're going to hear other artists not give up because of our story. And God's going to use those other artists to reach hopefully hundreds of thousands of people. And it's been so cool. Every night we go out and play a show, there's an independent artist in the crowd that comes up at the end of the night, shakes my hand, and says, hey, I was going to give up, but I ain't, after I heard your story about how this alone without anybody. And it's just like, hey, just keep going and writing the songs that God wants you to write, and put song in your heart for a reason, and who knows who it'll touch and who it'll reach. And so I really believe in my heart that, you know, I had to struggle. I'm not saying I got it all figured out, because we still struggle every day, but, you know, I think God let me be a voice for some independent artists that needed to hear my story and what we went through to get to where we're at. And hopefully, you know, thousands of new songs get written, and these songs that they create because they didn't give up, hopefully because they saw independent artists can still win and still do it.
I love it. I love it, guys. Thank you all for being transparent and sharing from your hearts in that. And that's one thing that I love about Scars. That gives a great opportunity for other people to look at them and to say, hey, what happened? How'd you get that scar? And that gives you the opportunity to say, hey, this is what God did in my life. And this is what he can do in your life. And that's why it's there. Not just a reminder for us, but a reminder to other people as well, and a testimony that we can go out and shine. Real quick, I don't want to take up much more of y'all's time, but Drew, you started to kind of touch a little bit on other artists and seeing things, and we're seeing such a cool thing happen between country and Christian music right now, and you guys are now a part of that with this release. We've seen the Jelly Roll Brandon Lake combo. We've got Ann Wilson going out with Morgan Wallen right now. She's being able to spread the gospel. Drew and Matt, talk about what you're seeing in that space and what you're seeing God do with this awesome collaboration that's happening between the two industries.
Yeah, I think what's been so cool is, I told you earlier, Brian, that I had to, you know, create my own record label to send my song "She's Somebody's Daughter" to radio, and it took us a full year, and we were very blessed. We had success with that song. But what's so cool out of that is that I kept my record label, and I've kept my staff on, and I funded it and just prayed that God would bless it. And now my record label is the song that is working Jelly Roll and Brandon Lake to country radio. And so what a powerful, I mean, it almost brings tears to my eyes to think that, you know, maybe my song had success so people could hear Brandon's and Jelly's and Hard Fought Hallelujah, and the amount of hundreds of thousands of people that might not even hear that message now are hearing it in the country space because we believed in something and we had scars to get here. And so that is, I think about that often, of like the struggles that we went through, now that we get to help other artists and we get to give this message of hard fought hallelujah. And it fires my soul up, man. It does. It fires up. And I love to see now this crossover of, you know, for so long it was so many pop artists making country albums, and but what is country music rooted in? And that is faith. That is gospel music. I mean, church started sitting around a little fire and talking about probably country things, and also talking about Jesus and how we love to go to church on Sundays. So it's been really, really special to be a small part of that with this song right here, Scars, and just to know that it's blurring lines, and other people that wouldn't listen to full on Christian radio, but now country folks, they're hearing this message too. But guess what? They still show up to church every Sunday in their boots and their blue jeans. You know, we're all different Christians, and we all have, you know, things that we like differently. So to be a part of that, it's really, really special. And I'm very blessed that Matt and they have let me be a part of it.
Yeah. Matt, touch on that real quick, just on your side of the fence, how you've seen that collaboration and how God's used it.
Man, God in my story has done way more with my nothing, than any time I tried to make something happen. So, I don't know if that was exactly how it all went down, where I think what I did was walk into a studio. I heard Drew singing a song. Nick was producing it, and I'd never heard a Drew Baldridge song either. Okay, Drew. So, and but I hear him singing. I'm like, hey, Nick, who's this guy? And do you think he would sing it? And long story short, it all worked out. But the point is, what Drew shared was so powerful, man. And so I think there's so many people out there, myself included, I've been there, where we got to lay the dream down and get our eyes on Jesus and do the thing that he's called us to do. And that's the important thing. You put things in the right order. You keep him first. You seek him first. He has a way of taking, of showing you things that you didn't even know were dreams within you. And, you start walking these things out. But yeah, I just think it's the point is Jesus. For me, I love that I got to share this a little with you earlier, that I've gotten to see Drew over the course of the last year get up there and with this huge platform now, bring kids up on stage and pray for them, out in front of the people that are gathered, and get down in there in the hospitals and be with kids and be with hurting people, and just lean in, into his faith. And he hasn't lost touch with the mission and the purpose behind what he's doing, and he hasn't lost touch with his family, and keeping that priority. And those are the things that we gotta I just think that the way that those things are laid out in priority has been maybe what's been the most beautiful part for me, is just recognizing it's not so much about country, Christian, whatever. It's about where our hearts are. And if we're pointed in the right direction, man, God has purposes and plans, and somehow he decides to use whoever he wants to use. And here we are sharing about how our stories collided, and we never saw that one coming, but
yeah.
We're grateful that it did, and we hope God uses it for something greater than us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with the faithfulness that we're seeing, we know that he will, right? And we're certainly appreciative of this opportunity. I'll tell you, I've been such a big fan of I Am They, and our listeners are huge fans of I Am They because of that transparency and that realness and the rawness of everything that they do, all of their lyrics. And Drew, to see you join that and to see you step into that space and be vulnerable and be bold on the stage and the platform that God's given you, I appreciate that, man, because I have kids, and I'm the same way. I spent my time in country radio and listening to country music, and I grew up, Southern Baptist and Redback Hymnal and just all that. So to see Jesus enter in this space more and more and more, it just fills my heart. And with what we're seeing as a nation today and what our country's going through and the division, God's using this, and he's going to continue to, and that's going to be our prayer. So I thank you guys for doing this. If nobody else tells you that, thank y'all for coming together on this for this project. It's we're excited to see how God uses it and the stories that are going to come in of the lives that are changed because of that exact thing. So if folks want to explore more of this project and stay in tune with the journey, Matt, for you guys, how can they keep in touch?
Yeah, iamthey.com. Good. Google it.
Google it.
No, you can also shoot us an email, iamtheyband@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your stories. We love sharing stories. Like you say, I think the more voices we have behind this thing, and the more we get to share our stories individually and collectively, the more people hopefully will be reached, and that's the point. So,
I love it. Drew, how about you, man?
Man, you can check all the music out, drewbaldridgemusic.com, or on my Facebook and Instagram at Drew Baldridge Music. But I believe that this song is far ways from being over with all the things that we're just getting started with it. And we've already reached hundreds of thousands of people on the streaming platforms, and we're working on a video and lots more future stuff to be happening. with this song right here. So be on the lookout for lots of new music.
Hey.